up, everybody? Welcome back to our channel. I'm Bree.
And I'm Evan.
And this is Reality Check TV. Here's where we discuss some of our favorite reality shows to watch together as a couple. So if you love reality TV like we do, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you can get notified anytime we post a new review.
Round 3, ladies and gentlemen.
What's going on, my love? How are you feeling? How is your week going? Moment of honesty. Today, it's been very testy. It's pouring outside right now. It's just been one of those days. So, mood is kind of mellow, I would say. But I hope you're having a good week. And if you're not, and you're feeling how I'm feeling, I hope that we are able to put a smile on your face to get you through the rest of the week. We are here to talk about the last episode of the Love and Marriage Huntsville Season 6 reunion. So this is part 3, the last part. Yes, we are done. Okay? Are you ready?
Round 3.
Yes.
Round 3.
Yes. Let's get into it. Okay, so we start off with angry Betty yelling at Mel, trying to get her moment. Y'all, this was just sad. Like, I just don't really, I don't have nothing really for this. This was stupid. Mel handled this situation how I would handle this situation, with a lot of grace. And I feel like she did the best that she could from jumping on this old lady, because it ain't even worth it. And she's just like such a non-factor. Like, I mean, at this point, I felt like Tisha's mama was more of a factor than Betty. Like, it's not. Now, please understand, I don't like Tisha mama. I don't like Wanda. And I don't want her back. But the point is, Betty is such a non-factor. This was so, I am just itching for a moment. We talked about this last week. We talked about it during the season. This old lady is yelling at Mel, trying to get her attention because she wants a moment, because she is hell-bent on not liking Mel, just for the simple fact that she just don't like her. She watched the show like we all watch the show, and she just happens to be on the other side of the aisle, the opposing aisle, of people that are just not wrapped too tight. And here we are. So Mel is trying to have a conversation with Stormy. She like, go ahead, Stormy, trying to ignore this lady, this angry lady that lives in a shoe. She is really trying to keep it cute. So go ahead, Stormy. Go ahead, Stormy. Say what you was gonna say. Go, Stormy. Go, Stormy. Go, Stormy. Stormy finally is able to get her mama to shut up. And she's like, Mel, I really like you. You know, like, I respect you. I don't know how we got to this place, but, you know, basically it hurt her feelings because she felt like Mel was supposed to come to her defense during that live. Again, we've talked about this. We've given our opinion on this. The only thing I am going to comment on is, in this very moment, I will say that, Stormy, you also came to this reunion on a mission. And the mission was to keep it cute because you wanted to make sure that you get signed to do another season. So that's why you allowed Tisha to run her mouth and, you know, just put out false information about you and your business. And you also started kind of kissing everybody else's ass in this moment, saying how you respect everybody here despite everything that's going on. It made no sense. Again, because you really should have been directing that energy to Tisha. But also, we know you came on the show thinking you can get in good with everybody else and be against Mel, the male hate train. And you thought that was going to take you far. That is the mistake that most make. That is the mistake that people continue to make on this show, including the producer. And we'll get to that later. But it doesn't work. It never works in anybody's favor. I mean, you know, when you are blessed and protected by God, God don't play about his people. And that's all I'm going to say. Y'all going to learn the lesson today. And I think Stormy is learning her lesson.
As y'all know, I do not acknowledge Stormy's mom, so I will not be talking about her. I really don't acknowledge Stormy too much. I mean, I feel Stormy, she came on to this reunion. I know she wanted to question Mel, try to see what went wrong. I feel deep down, of course, Stormy wants to be back good with Mel. But, Stormy, you can't control your mama. And, Mel has a short attention span for the bullshit. So, and for you not controlling your mama, that shows you are the ops.
Oh, she just tried to control her mother. She did way more than what I feel like Tisha has ever done. That's my opinion. I'm talking about controlling her in this moment, and I feel a way about that statement sometimes because I just feel like everybody's an individual, everybody's grown. I am not responsible for any adult. I can't do anything about that.
If Mel would have hit her where it hurts and said some cruel shit, Stormy would have jumped on her with the words. So that's what I'm saying. Control your mama because your mama feelings gonna get hurt.
But you can't. But regardless, you can't control someone else. That's my only point. And Stormy wasn't going to take it there. But more importantly, Mel's not going to take it there. No. She's not, because again, I'm not going to get in the gutter with you. But more importantly, like Mel said, who are you? Like, you are just such not a factor. Like, you don't know me. And Mel said, like, you don't have to like me, because Betty says, I don't like you. I just don't like you.
And nobody cares,
I just thought it was your ways, but it's just something about you. I don't like you. And Mel's like, I don't care. I don't.
Well, y'all, I'll be honest with you. I don't know why Betty and Junior Ass was on that stage. That really could have been a great kids commercial for like Feed the Children or something like that. Some donations, like they didn't need to be on stage.
What?
Feed the Children commercials.
I don't know what he's talking about. To have a little segment with Chris and Nell, I honestly feel like they should have been on stage the whole time. I also want to just point out, I know we was talking about the looks for both parts, but Nell really, really looks good. I have to say it again. She looked really, really beautiful. Next to Mel, Nell was the best dressed, best looking, put together on that stage. The hair, the makeup, the dress, the color of the dress. It was just really, really beautiful. She looked gorgeous. It was age appropriate. Loved it. Anyways, so Chris and Nell give us an update when it comes to their kids. More so Chris Jr., CJ. They didn't even really talk about the other children and like his daughter and stuff. And that's what I mean by like, I feel like there was a lot of time spent for Kiki and her moments, but where was Chris and Nell's extended time? Or like Junior with Stormy? Like, I just kind of feel like we should have reevaluated the order of events. But Nell is basically like, she doesn't want money to come in between her and her son, her and CJ, right? Like, she's trying really hard to listen to him, hear him out, because, without him feeling like he's attacked and like, she's just kind of like, I'm just going to let this go and move forward because I'm his mother at the end of the day. Here's my thing. Nell, I understand. I don't tell parents how to parent. I just give my opinion as a daughter. And what I will say is I feel like you should have stood 10 toes down on this because that could be part of the problem. We didn't get too many scenes of Chris, Nell, and their family in this season. So hopefully next season we'll see a little bit more and get some more information. But it seems like is the issue with Chris Jr. in particular. I mean, honestly, it could be the same thing for Chris's oldest daughter as well. It just seems like these kids are very entitled. And now these children have turned into entitled adults. And you guys keep bailing them out of situations. And I understand that for parents, it's very, very hard to stand firm on that, right? So it's like you don't want to see your children suffer in some ways, and then also it's like you don't want to not talk to them. And a lot of times I feel like kids hold that over their parents' heads in order to manipulate them to get their parents to do or respond they want them how they want them to respond. And I think I'm right about this one. I think that could be the case with CJ. And so I don't think that this is going to be a long-term solution, right? There needs to be deeper conversations and clear boundaries when it comes to this. So that's my take on that. Carlos asked Chris and Nell, why did you guys feel a way about not being invited to the expo? Chris explained it very plainly. Number one, first reason, we are older and have had multiple businesses in the city of Huntsville for years and way before the other people on this stage. That's one. Two, we are also connected to the people on this stage. We've had long-standing relationships with multiple people that is a part of the cast, and we are now a part of the cast. So it kind of felt like you were excluding us. Then Nell brings up the third and very important point. Tisha also said to me that she would make sure that we would be involved. So silly me, I took her for her word. Because where I come from, you say you're going to do something, I'm going to expect that you're going to do it. Very easy, very easy, very easy to understand. Okay? And Tisha interrupts and it's like, well, yeah, I did extend the invite to Chris. But then after I thought about it, I felt like it would be better to just have the core six and, be like less messy. And then Chris is like, well, Stormy and Courtney are not a part of the core six. And she's like, well, Stormy and I were friends and we were talking and I knew that she would do it. But she was like, it was with Chris. I never had a conversation with Nell because, Nell and I don't talk like that. I don't have a relationship like that with them. Tisha is like, y'all already know Tisha got the hater spirit. Y'all know that. Specifically with women. It's creepy. I think it's weird behavior. I don't connect or gel with women that act like Tisha. In real life, I feel like Tisha and I would not be, we would not gel. I don't like her ways and I feel like she has the hater spirit. The way that she was talking about this, as like, I was talking to Chris. I invited Chris, right? But you knew that Nell had a daycare because you mentioned it to your husband when the four of you guys had lunch. So why are you now trying to downplay Nell? And she kept throwing little digs or saying things under her breath throughout the reunion towards Nell. There's clearly an issue there. And I also feel like we saw that throughout the season. She would say little slick things. So I am interested to see how that's going to play out and how long Nell is going to allow her to get away with that.
And to Bree's point, Carlos then asked Tisha about why during their dinner did she feel the need to bring up and ask Nell about Chris's infidelities. And, Letitia answers saying everybody knows she's so direct, which I feel that is very false. We have seen Letitia throughout the seasons, beat around the bush, ring around the rosy, have a little quiet voice. Letitia's not direct. Everybody loves to claim they're so direct when they're so around the moon.
She's so passive aggressive. She's actually completely opposite of direct, which is hilarious that she said that. And it also is like, girl, you're a weirdo.
You're not that person, Tisha. You try.
Like, what is wrong with you?
You're not that person.
No.
And y'all know, to go off that, Carlos decides to get things a little messy here in the reunion. I guess it's the initiation for the Fletchers. He decides to ask Nell about Chris's infidelities. And he wants to know first, how did she find out about Chris's infidelities? And what she did said, I found out through someone. She didn't say who. She just said, I found out through someone. I wasn't approached, but I found out through someone. She claimed she backed Chris into a corner in which he was still denying. Until he had no choice. She backed him into a corner.
Yeah, but you said she kept denying.
No, he kept denying. And I guess he decided to tell the truth as soon as she brought that butcher knife out. So
yeah, because Nell come off like she a little crazy.
Yeah,
because when she said that She said, yeah, the woman, I think Carlos asked, did the woman approach her? And she was
said,
like,
she not crazy.
Yeah, she was like, I don't think anybody would step to me.
Nope.
I was like, okay, now a little crazy. I can see it.
And so, from there, Chris answers Carlos' next question, which he lets it be known it wasn't multiple women. It was just one woman. Then Carlos goes to ask about the duration, pretty much the aftermath of this. And Nell did let everybody know that they were separated for 18 months. Mm-hmm. And I guess through that separation, some work has been done near the end in which they decide to get back together. I don't know how long they've been married. How long they said they've been married?
You know what? I don't remember that. I know they probably said it. I mean, I'm pretty sure the first time we met them, it was probably brought up, but I don't remember. I know that it's been some years, mm-hmm. To the point where they both came in with their one child, and at that point they were like babies. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I know it has to be over 20 years. Yeah. So,
and so from there, to go off that question, Carlos did ask because as we know, Mel and Martell went through World War, whatever number you want to call it, in which they were aided by their friends, the Fletchers. And, he pretty much asked around the lines of, do you feel like y'all experience kind of had you guys motivated to try to help Mel and Martell through their hardship to try to get them to get things back together and stuff? In which she did admit yes, because, we're all friends here. We made it through it. They saw our journey. So, we felt it was necessary for us to, pretty much share our wisdom, try to help them through things. They talked about late nights to 3 a.m, talking, crying, blasey, trying to get things together. But let's be frank, though. Y'all ask yourselves, with what Martell did, can y'all really go through those times?
For a second, y'all let me cook real quick, okay? I want to sit on this topic for a second. I thought it was very interesting that Nell was the one that brought up the reason why they even got invested into helping what used to be the Holtz. Not only from what you just said, but she was also saying how Martell reminded her a lot of Chris back in the day. That Chris was very arrogant, cocky, the dressing and presenting themselves to be one way, right? And basically like trying to be like a ladies' man, trying to be a player. And it was because of that she would tell Martell, like, listen, because we've been through this and Chris used to be that way, I'm telling you, your arrogance is going to be the cause of you losing your family, right? So she would always warn Martell. 2 things that I wanted to mention, right? First, I see what Mel is saying, not Mel. I see what Nell is saying about certain characteristics that reminded her of Chris back in the day. We don't know these people. We always say that. We don't know these people deep down and behind closed doors. But what I will say, I can definitely see how there can be some similarities between the 2 men, especially probably Chris back in his day, his heyday, his younger days. But I still feel like there's one key characteristic that separates the both of them. And that is intelligence. I don't think that Martell is that bright as a person. That's one. And I feel like intelligence is one of the key factors of being smooth, of being, a real player, right? It's like if you are out here and you fit the prototype of a dude that just is a ladies' man, I feel like there's a certain level of intelligence that comes with that too, because you have to know how to talk to women in order for them to partake in your foolishness, right? That's not me saying that all niggas out here that's cheating is smart. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying in this case, when it comes to Martell and Chris, I think what separates them is intelligence. Martell is also messy. And I also think that another characteristic that separates them is Martell is very envious of women very envious. His level of sexism and hatred for women, to me, runs a little bit more deep. There's something about Chris's mannerisms and how he presents himself that I feel like he's only going to go but so far. I think he was able to be the ladies' man because he's smooth. He knows how to talk to women, and the politeness and that old Southern charm that I'm pretty sure that he had. And then he's easy on the eyes. He's probably funny. And, it seems like Chris is very laid back. That's the type of energy that I feel like he used to his advantage to take it to cheat. Martell is completely opposite to me. I always kind of scratch my head because I'm like, besides the physical, just looking at him, what is it about him that would attract a woman to him? He doesn't come off as bright. He doesn't come off as someone that is kind in a lot of ways. He's like a walking red flag to me in a lot of different ways. And I don't know if it's because we just know him a little bit deeper now and seeing him on the show, but it's something about Martell that I feel like there's a different, darker spirit over there and a different level of insecurities. That's what it is. The level of insecurities that he has, he wears them on his sleeve to me. And when you're having a conversation with him, it just kind of just comes out. Chris doesn't really give too much of that, but maybe he did back in the day. I don't know. Maybe so he's just like this extreme changed man. I don't know. The last point that I want to say about this segment with the Fletchers and Mel and Martell and their relationship is I would say that this really gave me a greater understanding of their relationship dynamic. I think I have a clearer picture now of the foundation of their relationship. So when Mel was talking about how, they would come to their house and be there until 2 or 3 in the morning, counseling them, mentoring them, and supporting them through really rough times and rough conversations within their marriage at the time. I feel it because y'all know we're not married. I've always wanted to have an older married couple that you trust, not too old, right? But old enough to be able to be mentors or counselors when going through the ups and downs of a marriage, right? And I feel like it's really important to kind of have someone like that or a couple like that in your village when you are married and trying to build a foundation with your partner. Because even if you do come from a family or a 2-parent household and your parents are married, I still feel like the other person is going to feel like there's a level of bias. And you can only tell your family but so much, right? Now, I was raised by a single mother. Y'all know that. Evan came from a 2-parent household. His parents are still married, but his parents are also a lot older. And these are our parents. And I feel like it does get messy when you add your family into the mix and trying to vent to them. It gets messy. And I don't recommend that that's something that you should do. Unless, there are some real boundaries that are being crossed as far as somebody's, physical, if there's any physical harm or if there's just some real toxic stuff going on that family does need to step in. But as far as just having a couple to look up to or a couple to counsel you, I think that that's really important and something that I've always wanted. But I just feel like nowadays it's really hard to find solid people like that have have the same moral compass that you and your partner have, and that won't take the information or some of the ups and downs of your marriage to just throw it in your face later or to then spread it to other people. It's very hard to find people like that. It really, really is. But I also recognize it's really hard to go through a marriage. We're two individuals coming together and trying to build a union. There are going to be some ups and downs, and you are not always going to have the answers. And I do believe in therapy. I believe that couples should seek counseling and seek therapy. But I think it's something, it adds another layer when it's somebody in your life, a personal relationship, and it's another couple that is also able to kind of help out and be your support system in your village that really know you. So I feel like I gained another level of respect for Chris and Nell off of that alone, because I see the respect that Mel has for them. So who am I to then judge their relationship dynamic? It makes more sense to me now, I would say.
Well, I mean, I feel that relationship definitely is not the same no more. No thanks to Martell.
Well, yes.
And like I said, in reality, that's just not a thing nowadays. You know, not everybody's built like that in today's time.
Built like what?
I'm just talking about built with how the relationship they had. It seemed like they had a sense of loyalty.
Yeah.
And that's not today.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's why people are better off talking to therapists, because, like I said, these friends, you know, sometimes you gotta be worried about your friends. You gotta be worried about who you say stuff to, because you don't know people's motives and their intentions.
Right. And I would never also recommend, I think it's one thing for your friends that are also married, so y'all are around probably the same age. That's why I said, like, I want it to be like a couple that's a little bit older, still our friends, still cares about us, but just genuine, good-hearted people. And Mel kept using that word about how genuine Nell and Chris are, and how they really were just a part of their village at that time during their marriage.
So next we head to Houston, in which Carlos decides he wants to know, Martell, who was this woman that came late at night that you snuck in? Over the fence, over the mountains, just snuck in. And, you know, Martell claims, oh, well, you know, it was this woman, you know, she came in, gave me a massage, you know, for about an hour and a half. And he's like, no, I did not have sex with her. Like, y'all over here jumping, y'all jumping the ship. And as y'all know, Maurice was up that late at night. Maurice was around, creeping around, you know, sneaking around, trying to be nosy, see what they had going on. I don't believe Martell. I believe that, in which he claimed she got the job done in an hour and a half, I don't believe they just did massages.
I think that they spent way too much time on this segment too, trying to entertain Martell and his lies. Carlos asked everybody on the stage, like, was anybody else offended by Martell bringing somebody to the house? Nell is still standing 10 toes down on, yes, I think it was disrespectful. I don't think that he should have brought somebody that we do not know to the house, period. Everybody else, Marceau, he was like, yeah, he felt like it was disrespectful because Marceau's a troll. Everybody else didn't really say anything, but Kimmy was like, yeah, I just didn't care, because they both agreed that they were going to move on. So, like, I don't care. But then she calls out Mel maybe like 2 seconds later about Mel bringing someone to the house for a massage. She's like, well, Mel, didn't you have somebody come in and do a massage too? And I don't know what she was trying to do there. But I received it in a negative way, to be honest. It could have been a joke. I didn't receive it that way, but I guess that's also because I'm not feeling Kimmy right now. And I don't know if there's something going on with her feelings towards Mel. I don't know. So I don't know how I was supposed to receive that comment, but it annoyed me. I was like, Kimmy, I think you should have just continued to be at this reunion and just really not say nothing. Because, you know, I don't think we've talked to them since the first part of this reunion. There was no need for her to even say anything. But Mel says, yeah, I had a woman come to the house for a massage. Yes, I did have that. She was actually a licensed therapist. I went on my Zelle app to book her, right? And that's how that happened. So y'all trying to pretend like this is the same thing, because then here go Martell claiming that, but it's a problem when I do it. It's a problem when I do it. How I know you wasn't doing nothing with this lady? How do I know? And like, this was a joke. I don't even want to go back and forth with all their foolishness about this. This was stupid. This was very stupid. And I'm mad that we entertained it. Entertained Martell and his lies. By the way, I'm going to have to rewatch the episode and fast forward to the name of the app, because it's not Zelle.
It's Zeal.
Zeal. That's how it's pronounced. Because I need to find that app, because I love a good massage. Just saying.
So while we're still on Martell, there were different fireworks that popped off at Houston, including the infamous Martell and Nell going at it, as y'all already know. And Carlos want to know, Martell, why do you always get mad at Nell? Why you always yelling? And when she confronts him about cheating and anything else he did in his marriage, in which Martell feels, well, first of all, it happened years ago. Like, it's still not really happening either. Like, you're not terrorizing either. And then Martell feels like, I'm tired of everybody coming at me when Mel's cheated too. He's like, y'all not giving her that same energy. But once again, what proof do we have of Mel cheating? None at all. Like, even in Houston, Nell went after her and Martell had their little sham match. She went to go ask Mel, have you ever cheated on him? Martell insists that Nell asked Mel. Mel gave her an answer. And the thing is, even after the fact, Martell still feels that Mel cheated, so he cheated. So I don't know if he's trying to flip the narrative to try to make it seem like it was more of a okay thing to do because he's trying to react to her cheating. But Martell, yours was an affair, a continuous affair that led to a child. But you don't have no solid proof on Mel. Unless you're talking about when y'all separated and she moved out and got her own apartment and y'all never got back together and she decided to date again.
He is talking about that. Which happened in 2017. Y'all, I know way more. I know their timeline of their relationship more than I know my timelines for all my relationships. But that was back in 2017. She done told this story 2 billion times of the order of events. And when she first found out that he was cheating, which was 5 years ago. At this point, we're 6-7 years ago. When she first found out that he was cheating. Let the record show. I just also want to make this very clear. There was a time where Mel confirmed that there wasn't just one woman. So his baby mama, she's not the only. Like, this fool has cheated multiple times. But he decided to have an ongoing affair with the baby mama. That's how that works. I want to zone in on that. I also I pray to God that moving forward, we can all be in an agreement that we are no longer going to entertain Martell talking about Mel cheating. I really would like for us to put this to bed. I really would. Again, this woman has given us the timeline multiple times as far as when she found out he was cheating, from the time she took him back, from the time she moved out, got her own place, when she got back with him, from the time she got pregnant, from the time she found out that he got somebody else pregnant. Like, all of this, she has laid out, and her story has never changed. It's been very consistent the entire time. Entertaining a whole terrorist and his make-believe fairy tales about his marriage, specifically the last 5 years of his marriage. I'll give Carlos an inch because it was in this moment where he was like cutting it off because Mel and Martell were kind of like going back and forth, or Martell is trying to argue with Mel about, oh yeah, you cheated too, and the time span and all this other stuff. And Carlos was like, okay, we're done. We've talked about this for 6 years. And I was like, thank you. We're not doing that no more. No more. No more. Don't want to talk about it. He's an idiot. He's a liar. He's already been proven to be a liar. He's already proven to be a narcissist. He's already proven to be violent. He's already proven himself to be a cheater. We're done. We're done.
So Carlos decides that's a question that many fans have expressed, in which he asked Chris, fans are concerned about how you let Martell speak to your wife so disrespectful.
I was concerned.
And I was so bothered by Chris's response.
He was.
So bothered.
He was very bothered.
Chris decides to use the analogy of, they're just like brother and sister. I view them as brother and sister, and brothers and sisters having their spats and blah, blah, blah. You know what? I've said it before. Chris is afraid of Martell. Because my thing is this. This man drove this, I'll give y'all a little sports analogy. This man drove to your stadium, aka your house. Your wife there. Raising his voice at your wife. It was Chris even there?
Mm-mm.
Wasn't even there.
That's how they ended up having a conversation.
Yeah. Raising his voice at your wife. She's by herself. And she tells you about it, and you then have this weak ass conversation with Martell over FaceTime, which I kind of chuckling like, "Hey, don't be doing my wife." Like it wasn't serious. Like you did that because you're trying to soften up to Martell because you didn't want to piss Martell off.
Nobody wants to piss Martell off.
I know he's hurt. He's
crazy, bro.
He's fucking Hercules. But and so then we go to Houston, and here's the difference: you're actually here. And there's other people here watching too. Yeah. Other cast members here watching this.
Right.
And Martell, yes, he's doing his segment about Mel's cheating with no proof. Him and Nell are going back and forth, raising his voice, talking with his hands while raising his voice. And once again, you're literally, the camera's right there. You're literally just standing there like a patron. Like you should have just brought your phone out and start recording Yellow World Star for Christ's sakes. But that's definitely the whole brother sister bullshit he said. That's so stupid. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. First of all, that will never be a thing. My thing is this, while you're there, if you're seeing them have a conversation, you can dictate this conversation, make sure it doesn't go disrespectful. You can tell Martell, "Hey, lower your voice, that's my wife." Or watch your words, that's my wife. Let them have their conversation. It's fine to let people, talk, but there's a certain level you better not let it get to. And Chris, I told Bree in the car, I see why he cheated on his wife. Like, he don't respect her. Because my thing is this. To a T, I think the respect level's not there because outside of cheating, you just let another man raise his voice at your wife 2 times and you ain't do a damn thing. I used to be hard on Nell, and I kind of softened up on Nell. Now I'm on Chris' ass. Because just because he got all these suits and he makes these little TikTok dance videos, I'm not letting that shit go. I mean, that's just cringeworthy. Like, literally, like, your wife is arguing with another man, and he's raising his voice, and you're literally just standing there. Like, that was so cringy. And it just showed me you are scared. Because I wonder if it was Marshawn, would he have said something? If it was Maurice, would he have said something?
This is my thing. First and foremost, the whole brother thing or we like family thing, okay, because I also feel like even if it's my brother, if my husband's standing right there, it should be like him trying to diffuse the situation. Because again, at the end of the day, I'm your wife. So it's like, hey, wait a minute, let's bring this down. Cause you yelling at my wife. I know that's your sister, but you yelling at my wife. Let's calm down, right? But then second, and the most important part is, but he's not your brother. He's not. And he's disrespectful. And he's already proven to be disrespectful. Like Mel said, it was out of line. It was out of order. It was out of order. And now having the real background of their relationship, she's absolutely right. And that's no shade, but that's their elders. That is not how you talk to people. Period. That is not how you talk to people. It's not the same scenario like Betty and Mel from earlier in the episode, where this lady came onto this show, came onto the stage with an agenda, and came out the gate being disrespectful to Mel. And Mel still did not raise her voice until Betty kept raising her voice and throwing shots, right? That never happened. But Mel ain't never called her out her name. None of that. That never happened. But Mel also don't have a relationship with that lady. And shit, Mel let that lady get away with it at the tea. Because she was on that shit at the tea. So Mel is absolutely right. I'm not saying that you are supposed to let your elders or people that are older than you disrespect you. But what I will say about my generation, young millennials, Gen Z, us, I feel like disrespect is like no longer a thing anymore. How people are able to talk to people that are older than them, I am concerned, and I'm not gonna lie about that. And I'm not saying that they old like that, like they really like somebody's, great grandma or nothing. I'm not saying that, but I do feel like Martell don't give a damn who you are. Especially if you are a woman. He doesn't respect women. And he sat there and said on the stage that, yeah, like, I feel like we both owe each other an apology because, I don't, it's not okay to yell at a woman, but I also feel like no woman should be coming at a man like that. Like, you should stay in your place. Well, what's our place, Martell?
And then Marcel did interject and say, for women to yell at a man and the man yells back. And Marcel did bring up, then they want to throw out the woman card.
Yeah, then they want to throw out the woman card. What, like, y'all, they, like, I swear they give me cramps. Like, I swear on everything. They make my ass itch. Like, all of them. I cannot stand them. Like, this is, for you to even make it seem as if it is okay for a grown man to be yelling and it's equal with a woman yelling at a man. Y'all, we're not going to play that game. Like, we're not. It's not the same thing. It is not the same thing for this. Like, Nell looks like she's like under 5 feet. Like, she looks like a little tiny thing. That's one. And then two, I don't care what she's saying. You are a man. You walk away. Period. You are supposed to have a level of self-awareness and self-respect and self-control to be able to control the situation. That is a true man. A man that is able to control the temperature of his own home and what in his own body. You have enough self-control. Martell does not. He is a menace to society. He really is. And he's running around here like a mad toddler and having temper tantrums all up and through Huntsville. That's what he does. It's not just a man yelling at your wife, but it's this one that already has a history of being disrespectful and getting out of line with people, specifically women. That is the issue. So Chris can keep making excuses, but I felt like you continue to make excuses for this man, and that's why we have this person on the stage. Y'all created this monster, all of these men. He's going to continue to get out of line. He's going to continue to, shake the table. That's Martell Holt. I no longer believe Martell has something on these men. I feel at this point, I mean, really, I feel like Martell would have said it by now.
They're just scared of him. And
what is it? Does he really know where the bodies are buried?
They're just scared of him because they know his temper.
Oh, you're saying they're scared of him because, like, physically?
Yeah, his temper. They see how he. They see how he wilds
I thought
out.
You meant like scared of him because he has something.
No,
on
they
them.
know they know his temper. Like, they've known him for years. They know how he acts. So the thing is, I think physically they are kind of scared of him. because they just feel he's gonna just kind of lash out. And let's be real, you know, Maurice, Marsau, Chris, they don't seem like the fighting type of guys.
Oh, I did. I thought you. Yeah, I thought you meant something else.
Yeah.
But I get it. I mean, if they're physically scared of him, my thing is at the end of the day.
I mean, because just imagine this guy that's off the haywire. Like Marcel's a buff dude. You know, Marcel ain't in no gym. Maurice ain't in no gym. Chris,
true.
Like Chris, you know, he's a good size, but he ain't no Martel big. And the thing is, you're a guy this size who can't control himself. You know, for them, they just may be a little intimidated.
That's very interesting. Even more reason why you need to step in between him and your wife. If you're even intimidated by this man physically, what do you think that this 5'2" woman feels? Wow, that's interesting. But okay.
So, you know, guys, at the end of the day, when there's a situation, guys will size each other up. You know, you got to pick your poison about when it comes to any type of intervening interactions.
Absolutely.
Or anything with other guys.
Absolutely.
You know, it could be a random guy out in public. Like, you know, something's happening. You really pick your poison because it's like, you ain't about to be dumb and step to a dude that's like 3 times your size.
Or a dude that don't have nothing to lose.
Yeah, nothing to lose. Yeah. Seems like he doesn't have it all together. You know, you really got to kind of be smart about it at the same time, because the thing is, you know, I mean, of course you want to stick up for your lady, but don't get yourself in harm's way or get yourself possibly taken off this earth because you made a split decision, you know?
Yeah, you definitely have to be prepared for whatever the consequence is when sticking up for another person. But I do feel like a true man, that's the risk that you take. That's my personal opinion. That is my personal opinion. That's that's just kind of like how I feel about it.
Well, you know, I think some of these guys ain't worried about seeing the label true man on their tombstone.
That's big
They'll
facts.
never be able to read it.
That's big facts. I mean, yeah, I see that.
Or in a hospital bed hooked up to all these machines because some loose cannon decided to take out all their demons and traumas on them.
And but I will also say, but for this scenario, that's not it. This was a controlled environment.
Yeah.
So even more reason why you needed to say something. And it didn't need to be combative. It could have been as simply like, okay, wait a minute, Martel. Let's bring our voices down. This is still my wife. What we should be able to talk, you know, with our inside voices. Like, let's just bring it down. There's a very stern, respectful way
you said
to control the situation.
You said you felt like Chris was intelligent, and I didn't see it right there.
Well, yeah, listen, I didn't say he had much authority. I didn't say that. But whatever. One thing that we forgot to mention, though, there was a moment earlier in Chris and Nell's segment when they was asked about the expo. Marceau then intervenes and was like, again, trying to downplay Chris's accomplishments in his businesses by saying, like, you know, he showed up at my place one time with a cleaning truck, and he was like, oh, so Chris, now you do cleaning or whatever. And Chris was telling him about it, and Marceau was like, so I just thought that was pretty sexist for him to not even bring up his woman's businesses. Marceau is a joke and an idiot, right? Like, he knows what he's doing. This is once again him trolling. He wanted to say that and find this moment because he knows that he's sexist, and we know, right? I'm only bringing it up because I'm like, dude, so y'all tried to play this game, you and your little raggedy wife, all season about like, oh, we don't know what Chris and Nell does. We don't know what they do. But I'm like, but then a couple seasons ago with the back picture, didn't you tell Tisha that you met Chris in Atlanta to talk about business? I'm so confused. Make that make sense.
Not everything's adding up.
Make that make sense. But y'all aren't close, right? But you was in Atlanta with him to discuss business, right? Okay, let's quickly, like really, really quickly run through the Kiki situation yet again. Very, very quickly, because we have talked about this way too much. We've already given our opinion. they have to talk about Kiki coming to Houston and why Nell invited her. Nell said, she did tell Kiki on the phone that it was a bad idea. Y'all should wait until we get back. Blah, blah, blah. Kiki talks about how, I still deserve to go to Houston. I wanted to go and, was hoping that, I can make amends with everybody. Blah, blah, blah. But the real is Carlos asked both of them, do you guys think that you would be able to come back together? Tisha's like, no, absolutely not. She's not interested. She feels like there's been way too much damage done. That basically Kiki don't wish her well. She wants her to divorce her husband. And so she's like, you're betting against me. And I feel like just too much has been said. Too much has been done. So she said, I'm over it and I'm tired of trying. And she's like, she has an uncle and other family members that have reached out and been like, y'all really should figure this out and trying to get them on the same page. But Tisha's like, no, I'm done. Do I believe that? I don't know. I think family's a unique thing. One minute we can be completely done. And then the next, we could try to work it out. I think that the only time that Marceau had a point was about time. Time will tell when it comes to situations like this. And unfortunately, a lot of time it does take years. It does. Carlos asked or brought up the point that, a lot of viewers feel, Kiki, that you came on to this show or you used Tisha to get onto the show. And now you're creating a storyline at her expense, right? Kiki denies it. Of course she's going to deny it. Of course. Why would she admit that? Even though we all feel that way. I do feel that way. We see that. There's no other way to receive that. There's no other way to receive Kiki coming onto this show but the fact that she wanted to get back at her cousin. But Kiki did say how she was always supposed to be on the show with Tisha, but she was going through something when they first started filming. Or no, I take that back. She said when they first started filming, Tisha was the one that kind of fell back, but it was always supposed to be them too. Well, Tisha says that she's right. It was supposed to be her on the show, but after a while, she's thinking like, I don't think this is a good idea because she got a lot of stuff going on in her life and it's going to come out on TV. So now the whole world is going to know all of the skeletons in your closet. If I wanted for 2 seconds to give Tisha the benefit of the doubt, actually, I don't want to give Tisha the benefit of the doubt because I don't like Tisha. Let's say that Tisha was somebody else. I can completely understand this, right? I would feel the same way. Not everybody's built for reality TV. Not everybody's built to be in the public eye because not everybody's built for the backlash and people judging their life, right? We are all of us are not flawless. We all got some shit with us. Everybody got some shit with them, whether it's you individually or somebody that you connected to, right? So I completely understand where it's like you're trying to also protect your loved ones and be like, hey, I don't think this is a good idea because, girl, you know this gonna come out. Somebody gonna find it, right? I could see that. But I also feel like, and I think that two things can be true, that Tisha also didn't want to share that limelight. It's clear that whoever Kiki's parent is that is related or the sibling of Tisha's mom, and I want to say it's Kiki's father, that is Wanda's brother. I want to say that. But whatever it is, it's clear that Tisha and Kiki was raised to be in competition with each other. Miss Wanda, confirmed that when she was on the show. It was very obvious that there has been a family divided of them two pinned against each other. And unfortunately, they became adults and they continued on with this undertone of a competition between the two of them. It's like, you do this, I gotta one you up, right? Tisha on the show, I gotta get on the show. Mm-hmm. Kiki get married, I need to get married. Kiki gets her degree in this, I gotta do this. Like it's always the tit for tat. Even though they've been close, you gotta keep your enemies close. You do, to know what they're doing, to know what's going on, so you can one them up. That's just how it works. That's how it works. It's just unfortunate that they have fell for the okie doke that their family created, that their elders created. It's unfortunate. I don't think that Kiki should be on Love and Marriage Huntsville. Did I tell y'all that? Did I already say that to y'all? If I did it, I'm saying it now. I don't think that she should be on the show. At first, I felt like it would add a good dynamic because I'm like, well, Kiki got the tea, right? Like, she gonna be the one to really out Marsau and force Tisha and Marsau to be honest. Like, she was gonna keep them honest. That is not at all what has happened. It's been a lot of empty threats from both sides of information they gonna put out on each other, but nobody's really spilling any tea. Nobody's giving anything with substance. And at this point, we don't care. Like, I don't care. Like, whatever information Kiki says that she got on Marsau, I don't care. I truly don't. Whatever Marsau says or is trying to insinuate that he has on Kiki, because there was a point where Kiki was asked, like, is there anything else, or what are the things that Marsau and Tisha are claiming that they didn't want to come out about you? And Kiki says that it's only about the infidelities in her marriage and the drugs, right? Those were the only two things. Well, Marsau whispers to Martell, yeah, like, that ain't it. Hell no, that's not it. Like, there's something else. And Marsau doesn't say it. We don't care. Do you care?
I don't speak on Kiki.
I mean, at this point, babe, like, who you gonna speak on? Because you're not really speaking on a lot of people.
The next scene. Y'all know I'm not talking about Kiki.
But it's like, come on, y'all. Like, we don't care. So I just feel like it's useless at this point. Just go ahead and just add Nell and Chris, and we can just have that. Nell, Chris, Stormy, Courtney, and then the rest of the 6. That's it. Well, we also need to boot Martell off the show, but I'll get to that later. There's no need for Kiki.
I don't know who that is. I don't speak on that person. So, Marsau, since you want to troll all a reunion series, let's go ahead and get you in the hot seat now. Carlos decides to ask Marsau, do you ever think Letitia would step out on you? And without hesitation, Marsau says, yes. What do you mean? Does she have a mouth? Does she have a vagina? Yes. What you mean? And, Marsau gave this analogy where it's just like, a woman goes out to a bar, has a good night, and makes a bad decision. It happens. What do you mean? The Marsau, it's a common thing. And I think it was very interesting because after that, Nell said, so you can flip that to the guy, right? And Marsau's like, nah, guys are strong.
I missed that.
You didn't hear that part?
No, I don't care about that. They're idiots.
But,
all of them.
Marsau does not trust Letitia because Marsau don't even trust himself. Because Marsau knows for years he's been getting away with all the shit he does. And so people who tend to be doing one thing, a certain thing, their fear is whenever they see their other person for some reason or somehow just like in their own little weird world, they kind of see the other person resembling things they do, they start to get afraid. They start to get a little, palms are sweaty.
Because they're guilty.
It is the guilt. Yeah. It's the guilt, and they know the karma's coming. And they're feeling sweaty because they're like, oh gosh, is it coming right now? And Marsau, you can try to run from it as much as you want. It's going to come out regardless. It's going to come out.
This is another scene, just like with Martell and the masseuse and Martell and the whole, she cheated too. All of that. I look at this situation in the same light. Y'all spent way too much time in entertaining Marceau and his foolishness. It is not the same. It is not equivalent to say that Tisha getting or taking a pregnancy test is the same thing as him coming to her saying there's this girl that's saying that she pregnant, so she taking a pregnancy test. It is not the same thing. I don't care. I feel how you want to feel. And the fact that they was all shaking their head on that stage, yeah, that is kind of the same thing. No, it's not. It's not the same thing. Like, for real, like, are y'all really smarter than the average fifth grader? Like, that's really what I want to know. Like, this is stupid. This is so stupid to entertain stupidity. It's dumb. And nobody ever says anything. And it's just annoying. Like, why are we doing this? It's not the same thing. And the only reason why he's going with this narrative is because he is guilty. When Tisha asked him the very fair question, if I stepped out on you, why would I then take a pregnancy test and then tell you if I stepped out? That wouldn't make sense. And then he's like, well, that's because it would be clever of you to say something to me to my face to try to make it seem like it wasn't really what you was doing. Like, he trying to do that. And I was like, yo, this dude is really serious. Like, and y'all are allowing it. I'm not surprised at him pulling that because that's what niggas do. But y'all are falling for that. That is fascinating to me. You remember... Y'all know Dave Chappelle. I'm going to put this water bottle down. Y'all know Dave Chappelle's recent stand-up special. He has a joke talking about this very topic with his wife, where he was like, there was a time where, or not, he said it just happened, where I was like, I looked through my woman's phone, his wife's phone, and I saw this text message from this dude or whatever, and I forgot what he said the text message said, and he was like, I approached her about it and was like, what is this? And like going off on her, and then she's like, babe, that's such and such, like, he's gay, and like that's my stylist or something, like, him. And he's like, oh, my bad. And he's like, I thought to myself, like, yeah, I was just freaking out because I'm doing my shit. And that's like the punchline of the joke, because that's how niggas do. Like, that's why they get obsessive. That's why they get controlling. That's why they are over the top and insecure, because 9 times out of 10, they are doing some dirt. And I think sticking with the point of whether or not she did step out, which nobody believes, it's the fact that she has stood 10 toes down for you every time somebody has approached that lady about rumors about you. She has not once wavered her loyalty and her belief in you. But the second something happens on her part, something as simple as her taking a pregnancy test, you took every opportunity to put her on blast in front of people about how she is capable of cheating, and I believe that she did.
So, y'all, to end episode 3, cause decides to ask the ladies, would Tisha be in the right to step out on Marceau after all these years of all these allegations, blasey. And in which, Kimmy did interject and was just like, why would you say that? First of all, a lot of ladies kind of had a reaction to that question, actually. It seemed like some people were just like, why would you ask that? But,
Mel was like,
But, Kimmy interjected and said, why would you ask that? Like, no, she wouldn't be in the right. I'm just one of the people that feels like I don't believe in the tit for tat cheating. If your person cheating, you can't get past it, just go. Like, the tit for tat, y'all just gonna keep cheating on each other. Like, just go. Man or woman, it doesn't matter. Just go. There's no point to cheat back. Like, what is that going to solve? Like, you're gonna feel, oh, I one up them, but you're still gonna be hurt. The pain's not gonna go away just because you have sex with somebody else or mentally cheat, whatever. It's not gonna go away. So I feel that's very stupid just to at the age we're at to one up. That's not going to take away anything. And then y'all know we have an interesting scene. It looked like they really just came back from commercial. I don't know what they're doing in commercial, but anyways, you know, people on stage, we moving around a lot. And Marsau and Kiki are having a little staring contest, I noticed. And you know, Kiki's like, you know, you a little lying bitch. And you know, that's not the first woman to call Marsau a bitch, you know. Not the first, won't be the last. And you know, Marsau down the line says, you know, pretty much come get me. Come get me.
Oh my god, my face is so red.
Come get me. And then you know, Letitia grew some iron ovaries and said to Kiki, I bet you won't cross this line. I let that thing slide once. Blah blah blah. It won't happen again. Blah blah blah. Letitia know her hands are cotton. Letitia is not about that life. Neither of them about that life.
Womp womp. Like, girl.
Marsau was
you missed your opportunity when that drink flew in your face. Because the way my reflex, like the drink would have, and I just would have flew across the table. Girl, bye. Don't nobody believe you.
Letitia was showing off all reunion.
You need to just sit there, you in your green dress, girl. Stop it. I told you, this is not your character. Choose a new character. Okay, real quick, y'all. So that was it with the reunion. Just want to mention, I know that Carlos had his live show this past weekend in Huntsville, of course. Mel was the first guest. Now, when they made the announcement that they were going to be doing this live, I guess, tour, I could have sworn that Carlos said that they would be recording it. I was actually in his live, or in their live, when they announced it. Him and Mel. So I thought they were going to be recording it. I still don't know if that's the case, but so far nothing has been posted from Carlos from the show. But y'all know everybody that went got some audio. There has been some, some footage swirling around the internet from the actual live show this past weekend. So it was confirmed, like I said, the cause of Martell's arrest was an old warrant that Mel signed. She confirmed that it was back in August that she finally went ahead and pressed charges. We all know the reasons why. Good for you, Mel. I'm actually very happy that it was you, and not happy in the sense of like, ooh, so rejoice, like, get him, Mel. That's not it. Because like Mel said at that live concert, and I don't know if it's the right word to say concert, whatever. Like she said, there's nothing to rejoice in when it comes to that, because that still is the father of her kids. This is a very, very, very unfortunate situation. The reason why I said I'm happy for her, or I'm saying good for her, is because she is the only one on this show, cast and crew, that holds that man accountable. The only one. The only one. Including his own family, because we've seen his mama and we've seen them scenes. Nobody holds Martell Holt accountable. Mel does. That's what I mean by good for her. Because I feel like this woman, all jokes aside, y'all, this woman has been tormented. She has been violated. She has been lied on. Her character has been assassinated, or her character has been tried, or somebody tried to assassinate her character. And bullied, to be quite honest, for 6 seasons on this show. And it's all been at the hands of that man. And I don't want to hear the whole, oh, what about the kids? Why would she do that to the father of her kids? Why would he do the things that he's doing to the mother of his children? Let's start asking ourselves that question. We are going to continue to talk about their their live interview that they did as more footage and more things come out. I know there's been a lot that has been said from for the last few days, but I want to still hold out because I still want to kind of get the full interview before we really make a comment. So we will come back to you guys with that probably next week. Again, I want to give it a full week and see what people say. But I did want to mention that as far as the update about the arrest. Mel also said some very, very interesting things about Carlos as well. But like I said, I want to do a separate video on my opinion about that because I definitely have some opinions on Carlos King and Carlos King Productions. You got anything to add to that?
Not to that, but I'm glad this reunion is now over. Next season, you know, let's see how it goes. Please no Kiki.
She's coming back though.
Please no Stormy Slime.
She's coming back, I think.
Like I said, you have a choice production. You can either show their scenes, or you can have some longer commercial breaks. You know. But you know, from what I was told, Martell, you know, his little situation going on right now was actually recorded. I don't know if I'm right or not.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I don't know about him actually getting arrested was recorded, but yeah. Because y'all know they're filming the season right now.
Yeah, and I can honestly see Huntsville coming back beginning of March.
Yeah, possibly. I have to look it up. I want to confirm.
But yeah, y'all made it through all 3 episodes. We did too.
Yes.
We definitely want to know how y'all feel about it overall as well as this episode. You know, tell us both. We'll definitely be in the comments. We want y'all in the comments, most definitely. Have a conversation between yourselves. We will definitely respond. I can't say we're going to watch next week's episode because, you know, we're on a little break. Huntsville's on a little break. As she said before, give us some show ideas.
Well, real quick, I thought you were going to say this. So, we are going to do Ready to Love. We are. They premiered, what was that? Y'all, I don't even know the date. I don't know today's date is the point.
It was January 12th.
Yeah, they premiered about 2 weekends ago. And it was a 2-part premiere, right? So they split the people up this time. So we are not going to do a review of the show. We're going to do something a little bit different, right? We took notes from the last season as far as how we did that whole season and how we reviewed it. What we're going to do is just talk about the people, right? We don't have too much information on them, but we're going to play a little game with y'all when it comes to introducing the cast. So we are going to do that. It is Wednesday night now. So clearly it's going to be late because the show comes on Fridays. So we will get it to you by the end of the week. And we might... I'm going to say that we're going to try to get that out tomorrow to you guys, but we are going to review Ready to Love. And if there is any more shows that you want us to review, please let us know. Mm-hmm. We are also looking into doing DC. There's no secret here. Y'all know, if you even look at our views, right? Y'all know Love and Marriage Huntsville is the video or the show that gets the most views. Put a Ring on It was okay.
No, Put a Ring on It was great.
Yeah, Put a Ring on It was okay. But Ready to Love, not Ready to Love. Love and Marriage Huntsville, nothing is better than that. That seems to be the show that y'all want to see. So we're curious to see if you guys feel the same way about DC.
Yeah, y'all let us know how y'all feel about DC. Because that would be a great help.
Yes, please let us know if you want us to do it. Because Evan's never watched DC. So we would have to get him caught up, you know, in time for the season. And it premieres this Saturday. So that's what we can do. You know, we can just do a quick, you know, watch party. Or we can binge watch all of the seasons. Not the first one, though. That was trash.
Y'all, I need Put a Ring on It to come back. That's my stable.
Yeah.
That is my stable.
Yeah. And I don't know how y'all feel about Ready to Love either, honestly. But, you know, it's fun to review because I like the fact that it's different people every season. And, you know, it gives us something different to also talk about. And it's an actual dating show. And we are a couple. So I feel like it works. It works. But, y'all don't got to watch the show. But y'all can still watch our reviews, though.
But we want y'all to be ready for the end of the week. Like I said, we're going to try to get that Ready to Love out. Our best. We will try. You have any partner words for our guests?
Nope, that was it. All the church announcements are done.
All right. Well, we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Y'all stay warm. It's getting cold. I don't know what part of the country y'all are in, but it's cold. But we will see y'all soon.
Bye.